Yo, what is up, Raidernation? It's your boy Samori back at it again with another video. Now it really feels good to be back home after a long weekend. You know, Yo Us was out at Atlanta, California for the Week 0 Raidernation kickoff party, but I am finally here, got my whole setup right back intact, and we are ready to kill another week of Raider content right before the season starts next week, September 11th, before we go out to LA to whoop some candy ass in week 1. But before we even talk about any of that, let's talk about everything that's been going on this past weekend and even today. First up, I do want to give a huge shout out to Davante Adams for making the top 100 list for the 5th time in a row. And this year, he hits the list at number 7, being the 5th Raider to make the list this year, following guys like Chandler Jones, Max Crosby, Darren Waller, and even our quarterback, Derek Carr. Now, I've talked about this before, and I know that last year, he played for the Packers, and the reason why he made the list at number 7 is because he was a Packer. So I technically don't really count this, but it is great to see that, you know, we do have a Raider on this list that could be that high. Hopefully next season, with what he does this year with the Raiders, he could be a little bit higher because, you know, him, DC, Max Crosby, and the rest of them boys over here in Las Vegas fun to ball out this season. At the end of the day, who really gives a fuck about the top 100? It's just great to see Davante Adams in a silver and black uniform, and I'm excited for this season, and I know a lot of you guys are as well. So with that said, I do want to ask you guys, Raider Nation, give me your stat prediction for Davante Adams in his first year as a Las Vegas Raiders. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, in some other news, the Raiders made some roster moves to cut their roster just down a little bit. First, waiving both tight end Nick Bowers and wide receiver Justin Hall. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I first seen this, I was like, yo, I thought it was Tashawn Bowers, but to see that Nick Bowers was the guy that got chopped from the team, I'm okay with that because I feel like Tashawn Bowers is gonna be one of those guys that's definitely gonna make the roster this season. Now, some other players that got placed on IR was defensive tackle Tyler Lancaster, linebacker Tate Davis, and surprisingly enough, offensive tackle Brandon Parker. Now, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and it hasn't officially been, you know, announced and whatnot, but the Raiders officially announced it now, so it looks like Brandon Parker will be going to the IR, ending his 2022 season. What the Raiders will do at that position, I'm not too sure. I know Jermaine Illuminor is going to be a guy that could possibly start at right tackle, but the Raiders definitely need a lot of depth at that position, whether or not they go out in free agency or wait for one of these other teams to cut some of their players, or maybe trade for somebody out there in the market. I don't know. One thing for sure though, Alex Leatherwood is not going to be the answer at right tackle, so we definitely need to go find some depth out there somewhere. As of right now, the Raiders are at 75 players on the roster, and they're going to have to cut that roster down to 53 by tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see a lot of people get cut, a lot of people get let go that might surprise you guys. But who is a player right now on this roster that you feel like can be a surprise cut by tomorrow afternoon? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, speaking of roster cuts and whatnot and surprising moves, it seems like Clelin Ferrell and Alex Leatherwood could be on the trade block, or possibly names that the Raiders could possibly release. The first thing that I seen earlier on today was Ian Rappaport talking about potential players that could be traded away, and one guy that was brought up was offensive tackle Alex Leatherwood.
Talk about some of the guys who could end up being released. I would say maybe more likely traded. We'll see which way it goes. As you guys know, there's a little bit of both, a possible release, maybe a trade. Alex Leatherwood, the former first rounder.
Now, whether or not the Raiders would release or trade Alex Leatherwood, one thing's for sure, there's teams out there that are actually interested in the former first-round pick. I seen a tweet from Jeremy Fowler a couple of days ago where he tweeted out, Raiders game versus New England, big for the right side of the Las Vegas O-line. Teams feel unsettled there at multiple spots, and several teams I've spoken to are keeping an eye on offensive lineman Alex Leatherwood, believing he might be traded or released. But the Raiders wanted to evaluate game before decisions. And if you guys did watch that game, then you guys already know that, you know, Alex Leatherwood is still not that answer on the right side of the line. Now, some other tweets that I seen earlier today from NFL Rumors was Raiders Clelin Ferrell and Alex Leatherwood were mentioned as 2 possible cuts by Sports Illustrated. Some of these picks have been disastrous for Mike Mayock. Now, first of all, I wouldn't blame this all on Mike Mayock. I feel like most of this was John Gruden's, you know, picks. I feel like Mike Mayock was more of the later on picks, and I know we've talked about this a lot on this channel, and I know a lot of other people has been talking about it and whatnot, but I feel like it was Mike Mayock who found all these late round gems, you know, the Max Crosbys of the world, the Nate Hobbs of the world, and so on and so forth. But these guys in the first round, I mean, these are 2 first-round picks that John Gruden picked up in his time with the Las Vegas Raiders, and they have not panned out, or they have not lived up to the hype that we all thought they could be. Alex Leatherwood in his rookie season last year at right tackle was not the answer. I mean, we moved him into the guard position and he was okay for the most part. He was better at right guard than he was at right tackle. But, you know, getting him in the draft that early, you need to get a guy that's going to be a solid part of this team. And the fact that there's so much questions going around about Alex Leatherwood is crazy to me. And you look at a guy like Clelin Ferrell, who we drafted in the 2019 draft when we had 3 first-round picks. The fact that he was the 4th overall pick when there was a lot of other guys that I felt like could have been a better player for us in this defense, we passed him up for a guy like Clelin Ferrell, who had a lot of upside, just hasn't tapped into it just yet. Now, getting back to Alex Leatherwood, if the team was to cut Alex Leatherwood today, we would lose $4.5 million. But if we were to trade him away to another team that would take him, we would save $1.3 million. So it doesn't make any sense for the Raiders to cut him. To me, I don't feel like this new regime is sold on Alex Leatherwood, which is the reason why we put him out there in preseason to see what he can do. So in that case, I feel like the best case scenario for the Raiders is to trade him away. And if we could get somewhere, you know, at least a 5th round pick for Alex Leatherwood, then I'd pull the trigger on it if he's not the guy that you want to keep on this team. Now, I know last week I talked about Alex Leatherwood possibly being traded away, and I know there's a lot of people out there saying, you know, there's no way the Raiders are going to trade him away. And I said, do not be surprised by this new regime, because they have not been afraid to let go of players from the previous regime or trading players away. You know, Tyree Gillespie, perfect example. And Alex Leatherwood is a guy that they have no ties to. They did not draft him in the 1st round. If this new regime was drafting in the 2020 draft, I know for a fact they wouldn't be drafting Alex Leatherwood in the 1st round. But my guy Vic Tafer was even asked this, if there was any real trade interest in Alex Leatherwood, and this is what he had to say on Twitter. The Raiders would like to move him. All it takes is one team that had a 2nd round grade on him to throw something at them. So after reading that, it basically proves my point that the Raiders, if given the right price, wouldn't mind moving Alex Leatherwood. And we could possibly be seeing the last of him in these next couple of days. With all that being said though, Raider Nation, what are your thoughts on this? On Alex Leatherwood and Clelin Ferrell possibly being on the trade block? Would you guys trade one or the other, or would you guys trade both of these guys? And what would your asking price be? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now for the last bit of news, it looks like Darren Waller could finally be getting his contract extension. According to Josina Anderson, she tweeted out earlier today that my understanding is Raiders tight end Darren Waller has had a deal in discussions that would make him the highest paid at his position in terms of at least the new money APY metric at $16 million a year per league source. Waller is currently in the midst of changing representation. Now, it is funny that, you know, Darren Waller recently just left Clutch Sports a couple of days ago, and reports are already going around that he could be getting a deal done as soon as this week. Makes you think that, you know, Clutch Sports wanted more money, or they wanted Darren Waller to hold out until he got a new contract extension. But we all know that Waller ain't about all that. If he is healthy, he will be out there on the field. And I know there was a lot of rumors going around on Darren Waller holding out for a new contract, but like I said before, when he was healthy, he was out there practicing with his teams, and he even came out publicly and said that, you know, the agents, they handle all of that. I'm just here to play football, and I'm going to be playing for the Raiders this year no matter what. And that's the type of mentality that you love to see in these players playing in the silver and black, because, you know, back in the days, there was players out there that really never liked playing for us. They were just here for the check. But a high-profile players like Darren Waller that just wants to be a part of this team no matter what is a great sign to see moving forward. Hopefully we do get to see him come back soon, because I know he's dealing with a minor injury, but I'm 95.2% sure that Darren Waller will be ready to go week 1 against the Chargers, and we will get a deal done by then. At $16 million as an extension for Darren Waller, I believe that he's worth all that money. In this new offense under Josh McDaniels and with Derek Carr and all these other weapons here on offense, I feel like he's going to be a key part to helping this team take that next step as a contending team for the NFL. So with that said, Raider Nation, again, let me know your thoughts on Darren Waller possibly getting a new extension with the team. Is he worth it, or should the Raiders try to trade him away? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. All right, Raider Nation, that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, if this is the very first time you come across my channel and you love the Las Vegas Raiders, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. Also, with the Week 0 Raidernation kickoff party in the past now, we look forward to Week 1 against the LA Chargers. And if you guys are going to be going to that game, I want to let you guys know about the LA Home Away from Home Raider Nation party going down the night before the actual game on September 10th. This is a free event, so if you guys are trying to come through and party it up with the Raider Nation, then I'm going to be putting the link down below. Make sure to RSVP your free ticket, because every single RSVP, you get entered into a free raffle for some free tickets for the Raider and Chargers game. But that's not the only event that's going to be going on, because for every single home game in Las Vegas, we have finally locked in the blackout parties for every single home game. Me and my guy Raider Cody, my guy Graphic, you know, Kenny King, all of us and the rest of the Raider Nation are going to be out at Virgin Hotel in the Skybox Lounge every night before the games. The Raider Nation is going to take over Las Vegas, and I'm excited for this free event as well. So like I said, if you're going to be coming to any Raider games in Las Vegas, this is the place you want to be at. The link will also be down in the pinned comment below. With that being said, until the next video, Raider Nation, this your boy Samuel Raider, and your boys, yeah.
Started off in Oakland, now we here. Thought that we was done, we just hit another gear. Look, started off in Oakland, now we here. Hey, pull up with the nation in the silver black gear. Look, 4 games straight, we in the playoff. Shout out to the Chargers fans, y'all enjoy the layoff.